Hello, everyone. Mark Donaldson alongside Janusz Michallik, and let's recap what we have seen so far in the Premier League. The runaway champions, Arsenal. No, there's 3 points separating the top three. Aston Villa beating Arsenal with Buendia's late winner earlier today. Then Manchester City comfortable in their victory over Sunderland. Janusz Michallik, what on earth have we seen? We have a title race again in the space of a few hours.
Yes, we do, and I think Manchester City in particular, sense that there's an opportunity, right? Everybody, I suppose. We're going to be talking about Chelsea as well. They did not take advantage of that, but for Manchester City, I think this was an important game, right? Considering what has happened to them in the last two games, and obviously they've won them both. But if you look at Fulham leading 5-1, and then conceding goals 5-4. Then Leeds United game. Remember Phil Foden scoring a very very late 3-2 win. So I think the stability defensively was going to be important, and today they delivered at both ends.
Mm-hmm. Would you say the clean sheet for Pep is just as important as the 3 points today, given what you've just said?
I think so. I mean, that's the impression that I've gotten, right? I mean, if you look at Manchester City at their best, I mean, they're doing what they've done in the past. I mean, they've scored more goals than anybody else in the league, 3 more today. So that hasn't been an issue, of course. It's not just Erling Haaland, but, people are contributing to that. But, I was going to look, I think 16 goals conceded. At no point, if you remember City at their best, they were conceding that much. And part of it was, I think, the possession game that they've had. They rest with the ball, don't they? And because they have so much possession, and obviously they weren't conceding. But this season, obviously, that has been an issue.
Before we get to the City goals in their 3-0 win over Sunderland, they went with kind of Doku coming in off the left in support of Haaland, and Ryan Cherokee coming in off the right-hand side. They're yet to find what they really are looking for, Pep Guardiola, with a front three or a front four. Phil Foden, of course, playing the kind of 10 role. What did you make of Cherokee's performance today?
Well, I mean, we've seen glimpses, right, of how good he is and why Manchester City got him. And remember, a few weeks ago, Pep Guardiola was talking about him, how good he is, his type of player, of course, his intelligence, and not just the quality. That's for everyone to see. And we can look at the Rabona assist today, and that was absolutely wonderful on that goal. But I don't know if you remember a few minutes earlier when Erling Haaland, I think. His save, his shot was blocked by Hertruda, and Cherokee's work on the right hand side, where he's just skipping through people, getting to the byline, and delivered that pass to Haaland. That to me was actually even better than the assist for the goal as well. So we see that because he loves to play between the lines, just so much quality. I just guess that you need that from him more consistently, right? He's got to be doing that game in and game out.
No goals in the first half hour, and you're thinking, will it be another one of those days for City? Sunderland were stubborn. They'd given up one or two chances. Erling Haaland, though, they marshalled him pretty well. But then 2 goals in 5 minutes from the two centre-backs. Very different goals from Ruben Dias and Josep Guardiola. That was the game pretty much over and done there. But if your strikers aren't getting the service or they're unable to breach the back line, it helps when you've got an absolute peach from Ruben Dias, and then a decent effort from Guardiola.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch that whole situation on Ruben Dias, patient build up, right? I mean, the first half wasn't all that exciting for sure, and that particular play was kind of slow in the build up, and it almost was screaming for a screamer. Apologies here for that, because there was such a low block from Sunderland on that play, and I'll tell you what, I mean. Technically beautiful strike, and it helped because there was a little bit of a deflection there, right? The goalkeeper got to it as well, but I think that deflection helped. But what a wonderful strike, and that's exactly what you need to do. I think Manchester City doesn't do that enough from distance. Of course, Rodri was the one that would do it. He is not playing at this moment, but Ruben Dias, you have to do it. And the second one, just a powerful header from Joško Gvardiol. I mean, all by himself is, rising above everybody there. Just a great header.
Look at how many players are involved
Mm.
in this goal. Number 10 is Ryan Cherokee, who takes the ball from Foden before giving it wide to Doku, before getting it back, before laying it off. Not quite as far out as Vincent Kompany at the other end back in the day with that unbelievable goal. But the one thing to note as well about Cherokee is he was involved in his own half in the build-up, and that's a goal with the involvement of so many that will really please Pep.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Cherokee, you look at Foden. I mean, the beauty of Manchester City now or before is that they have playmakers everywhere, right? We often talk about playmaker in the center of the pitch, but they do that in the wide areas, and that they have the freedom, of course, to interchange, to change positions. That's nothing new from Pep Guardiola and Manchester City, and he's the one that loves to play between the line. They've had so many of them in the past, so that's his position. But I'm glad to see that graphic, because that setup was kind of so slow. And I was like,
Yeah.
part of me, Mario, was like, yeah, nothing's going to happen there. And all of a sudden, Ruben Dias gets the ball and made the right decision.
What about Cherokee Rabona? That's going to get the headlines for Phil Foden's header. But the third goal puts the game well beyond any doubt. Foden's in a bit of form right now that, look, I'm sure that will be discussed. Should he start for England or whatever? But from a Manchester City perspective, why are we getting this Phil Foden now with the goals and the assists? And there's his stats from today's game. And why didn't we get that when he was playing earlier this season?
Well, I mean, he took a season off last season, if you remember. I mean, we're talking about player of the year a couple of years ago, right? And then remember England in the last European Championships. I mean, they've gotten to the final, but it was poor from everybody, really, from England. And Phil Foden, I think, paid the price for that. Last season, and finally he's just recovering the form that he's had. So sometimes that happens. Let's not forget, I mean, Manchester City season last year was poor. It's a turnover. We're wondering if Pep Guardiola is going to stay with Manchester City. Is he done? Is the magic gone? And all of that. It was poor. So I don't know if I just put it on Foden, because just about everybody last season in Manchester City were playing below their level. So I wouldn't single him out in that, but I think 2 years ago we saw how good he can be, and I think he's just coming into form right now.
Can he be that good again?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's in the right system. He's playing under the right coach. Remember, I mean, when he first came on the scene, Pep Guardiola, talking about him being better than Messi, if I remember correctly, right? Or more talented at that time. And yeah, I have no doubt. I mean, he's showing it right now. So I think he's going to have a great season. In terms of England, of course, that's a little bit later. The competition there is great. And at the moment, he's going to have to continue to play like this for Thomas Tuchel to give him a look.